Avengers! Assemble.
Remember that? Remember how awesome that moment was? We've been reliving this on social media ever since. And this happened less than 5 years ago. So how does Marvel Studios, the company that gave us this record-breaking historic moment in movie making, go from this to being in alleged shambles so soon after? Maybe this moment is the whole problem. It's hard to argue that this isn't the absolute peak for Marvel's entire library. It was the last time the MCU was truly remarkable, and it was really something special. But that's Marvel Studios' real problem. They've flooded theaters and TV screens with tons of new titles and projects in an unprecedented volume of new Marvel content, and none of it comes close to delivering a moment like this. They set an almost impossible bar for themselves. Now that's an obvious oversimplification. There have been big moments since. The Spidey team-up in No Way Home was huge, but that's pretty much as close as it's come since. That's the only moment since Endgame where we all felt that huge payoff, our hearts falling and rising in our chests, and we know we're still years away from it happening again. There have been lots of cool teases like The Marvels, which we're not here to totally litigate, but the movie did write 2 big checks in its final moments. Spoiler alert for these scenes, but not the Marvels at large. In the final scene, Kamala Khan recruits Hawkeye's Kate Bishop and seemingly is on her way to recruit Cassie Lang into the Kid Avengers, Young Avengers, which has been implied for ages at this point, but now it's been explicitly teased. And in a mid-credit scene, we get a potentially even bigger promise, a look into an alternate universe where our Monica Rambeau wakes up to discover Maria Rambeau alive as the binary Captain Marvel alongside Beast from X-Men played by Kelsey Grammer, making a direct mention to Charles Xavier. Could it be? MCU X-Men? Could we really be this close? But once you get over the initial thrill, there is a sad realization. X-Men and Young Avengers are a long way off. Yes, we got a glimpse, but we've also gotten glimpses of another place with little follow-up via Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. We've heard zero news about the supposed X-Men/Young Avengers era at all. We're still getting just crumbs about Fantastic Four, and oh yeah, we still have to deal with Kang and the Multiverse saga before we can get to any of that. You have to eat your weird, uneven meatloaf before you can have cake, kids. If there is indeed cake on the way. And that's just the unfortunate byproduct of movie making, right? That we have to wait for stuff sometimes. Don't forget that Avengers Endgame was the MCU's 14th freaking movie, and this big moment we're talking about is the literal culmination of all those setups and storylines, and that is precisely what made that moment so epic. It was earned. The problem, if there is one, was dropping a banger like Endgame on audiences and then expecting everyone would instantly be cool to go back to smaller world-building movies and projects to start the whole process over again. Because that's what the realities of movie making require. That's what makes logical sense. We started the last roller coaster hill of the MCU with projects that made us care about the characters and showed us the stakes. And we'll have to go through that again if we want another earned big blowout moment. We all hate telling, not showing moments, but build-up is absolutely necessary to all of that. But on the other hand, we're movie fans. F*** logical sense. We need a banger and we need it now. Thrill after thrill, let's go! Comic book movie fans are a passionate bunch, and once we got our shit rocked by Endgame, we instantly wanted that experience again, not all of the hard work that it takes to set up something like that. Unfortunately, almost everything worthwhile requires that kind of hard work. So far, Phase 5 has been nothing like Phases 1, 2, or 3.
What the hell happened?
Phase 4 laid out a massive slate of 8 streaming movies, a prequel film in Black Widow, a few like Shang-Chi and Eternals that have been recently described as experimental, Black Panther 2, which was weighed down by the loss of its beloved main character, an amazing capper to 3 Spider-Man franchises 20 years in the making, and whatever Thor Love and Thunder was supposed to be.
What a classic Thor adventure. Hurrah!
With every other release came the chorus of, "The MCU is dead," and then after the next one, "Marvel is back." And then after the next one, the MCU is dead again. pretty much alternating like this for the entire release schedule between film and streaming. Mid-Phase 5, we got Quantumania, Guardians 3, Secret Invasion, and Loki Part 2, and they all show no deviation from this pattern. It was and is exhausting, paired with the fact that these cinematic projects are not all woven together into one uniting goal or team like the Avengers versus Thanos. It's not comparable because it's not at all the same beast, and both we, the audience, and Marvel as a creative entity need to accept this and realign our goals and expectations or be badly, badly disappointed.
It's never too late to stop being a dick.
The Marvels had its good parts, but in this video writer's opinion, it wasn't great. It was fun, but it didn't always make a lot of sense or completely arc out stories for each of its three leads. And regardless of anyone's ranking, some of the Marvel's most special moments are the teases at the very end. And like we mentioned before, Young Avengers and X-Men get shouted out, but when will those pay off? How many years does it take for a tease to become a reality? And what about Loki? Everybody's favorite trickster god from Jotunheim is now literally holding the entire MCU together as he finally found his glorious purpose and truly became the god, small g, that he always insisted that he was. He destroyed and then replaced the TVA's temporal loom so he himself could sit there at the end of time and literally keep everyone, and I do mean everyone, from absolute oblivion. And while Loki's Season 1 and 2 have been outstanding, they do seem to be cooking something different from the rest of the current Marvel era with intense character study and deep introspection. Not that we're complaining, it's been a great watch, but it's not really clear which of the pathways Marvel is laying out will be the main throughway to their next big moment. Oh yeah, and there's a new Guardians of the Galaxy team with Rocket as a more fulfilled leader, and also Groot is huge now! It was a hopeful send-off, but it's not likely the Guardians will play a major role moving forward, and we certainly didn't see Avengers Assemble potential in there. It just wasn't that kind of finale, and that's totally okay. The point is here, Marvel Studios can't expect the audience to react to its current phase the way they did to prior phases because every element leading there, every step in the staircase is laid differently than the last one. We always knew Cap was going to say Avengers Assemble eventually, even when he almost did it in Age of Ultron. We knew that they were saving that for something special. With Phase 5, not only is there no organic place to put that rousing, emotional, big moment, we don't even really know when it might be, at least not yet. In conclusion, the real problem Marvel Studios is facing is it needs to make its movies and shows feel special again. Yes, it takes years to lead up to a moment like this one, but if those years are filled with projects that only serve to set up some other thing down the line, then you can't fault fans for feeling a little flat when there are such long stretches in between these moments. No, it's not logical to expect that every movie or streaming series is gonna have a moment that hits this hard. But you also can't put the genie back in the bottle. Expecting fans to get hyped over an endless string of teases with no payoff isn't realistic either. You want those negative press pieces to go away? This is how you do it. So all that said, where will the next Avengers Assemble type moment come from? Here are some possibilities. The Young Avengers are an obvious, amazing choice, especially with Kamala Khan taking the lead. With Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang, and potential members like America Chavez, Wanda's sons Tommy and Billy, Riri Williams, Yelena Belova, Toussaint, Scar, Elijah Bradley, Vision, and hell, Miles Morales even. This younger class of heroes has already been introduced and merely needs to be, well, assembled. I really don't need to explain why everyone would be hyped to finally introduce Professor X, Magneto, and every single mutant character to the MCU alongside countless stellar, classic, and modern mutant stories. With nostalgia, strong character recognition, great source material, and an absolutely massive roster of potential characters, X-Men definitely has the highest potential for a guaranteed win for the MCU. The only problem is they can't be properly introduced to us fast enough. Which brings us to...
Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
The plot of Deadpool 3 is pretty under wraps at this point, but it's very, very hard to ignore the alleged on-set photos of Hugh Jackman in Wolverine's comics and animated famous classic yellow suit. If he's going to be going around picking up other Ultimates versions of our favorite mutants, then yes, absolutely sign me up for that right now. I'm ready for a big win, and I hope it comes when Deadpool 3 releases next year. And lastly, Secret Wars. We did not get off to a good start with Secret Invasion, this is true, but Secret Wars was always an incredible comics run that turned the Marvel Comics world on its head. Thanks for watching, and for more MCU, here's how Marvel Studios' biggest strength became its biggest curse. So make sure to check that out, and don't forget to follow and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.